Ruth, on the promises being made, and according to the Deputy President, Gachagua, one that will not require IMF or World Bank or any financial input will be this one, on the president respecting his deputy, or at least protecting him from those who do not respect the deputy president. Going by the virtue that, first of all, the president has not clapped or has not actually slammed those who are after impeaching Gachagua, that of course will not be, or will be considered not fulfilling the promise. Economically, are we likely also now to not fulfill the promises that were made by this government?
I'm looking at that, listening to you, I'm looking at that like before they came together, they had agreements. What are those agreements? What did those agreements say in terms of what is respect or what should we abide in? What constitution or what kind of a standard are they abiding in their party, in UDA? And why are Kenyans becoming part of it? Why should we become part of it? I'm just trying to ask myself a question, and you should tell me that, especially with that is mirroring to economy. I think we should be hearing from the National Assembly is regarding the main problem or the main issue with maybe some of the stalled project, why maybe Finance Bill 2024 failed, is regarding the main issue why Finance Bill 2023 failed, is regarding the problem that or brought in Andani, is regarding these are some of the issues that us in public, people in public should be hearing, you know, and they should be dealing with the things that are of inside. But you see, when statements are said by those ones in the sidelines of a camp, then it becomes really, really difficult, and it seems like the president, of course, is backing it because he's, of course, silent. I really want to touch on a very contentious issues. When the president, especially President Ruto, has been silent previously, it has caused this country big damages, both economically, socially, and even from a division perspective. And he should remember some of those areas that he kept quiet when he should not be keeping quiet. And this is not also the time that he should be keeping quiet. Let him come forward and say that some of the economic turmoils we are experiencing is because the deputy president was given work and they did not perform. You know,
so those will form good grounds at least for his
those
impeachment.
Are even from a common Mwananchi perspective, we are going to all to be supporting. But right now, we cannot be seen to be Mwananchi is being trolled to an inside battle. This is very inside because it's between them and what they agreed or the perception, or more so what I want to. It is also seen like I want to cut you out of this so that I can be able to do this. When it's seen like that, believe you me, Kenyans will take their side and it will divide this country. Ground is. I want to also remind the president of this country to listen to the ground. Right now, it's not when that ground should be ignored. For economic, Kenyans, remember Kenyans are already angry. I don't think Kenyans are happy. The economic times, besides this being a very good year, 2024, we have seen inflation is not so high. Things are really moderate, but still Kenyans are struggling. Can some of these struggles, can also some of the answers that are hard, like yesterday I was hearing people discussing the new SHIF and NHIF. What was the problem with NHIF? What could not be amended to deal with some of the contentious issues? If some of these big questions are not being answered, then we are bringing or pulling Kenyans to more political problem. I don't think it's going to go very... Kenyans are not ready for this. Kenyans want to work and recover what they have lost in the last 2 years.
But the precedents that the president is setting in terms of trust, don't worry about breaking. Is it not eroding his trust, especially the other time, let's say, for instance, the matter on the Ford Foundation? Is he a master of double speak?
Joel, did it erode your trust that God broke his promise on Moses, leading Israelites into the promised land, on which Moses never stepped his foot on the promised land? Promises can be broken. And if they can be broken by God...
a quick rejoinder here.
Actually, you know what he's saying about promises? Manifestos are promises, which Kenyans were promised, just 2 weeks ago, was it 2 weeks ago, Joel, we were looking at the president performance for the last 2 weeks, for the last 2 years.
Superb, and it was superb.
Yes, you know.
It was the best. The performance was good.
The performance was not good.
No,
Mheshimiwa.
he's the best president. He has performed very well.
No, wait.
Where did you get the data? Because according to the data I have.
Let me tell you, according to, that is the data you have, because you can gauge it in the eyes that you have.
Can we go international?
Let me tell you, Chacha, I read word to word the manifesto of UDA for 2020, the one that they gave us in
Hustler
2022. Fund. Let me tell you, Hustler Fund, 19 billions have been stolen. That thing is as dead as dead.
Is the Ruto the one stealing or Kenyan stealing?
But you see,
but the promise was that we will give you Hustler Fund.
Why can't we put a proper process? Why should we launch something that cannot be able to be accountable? What kind of project are we launching?
Who are we blaming? Is it the thieves?
No.
Or the one who promised and delivered?
They're not properly thought about.
No,
so Mheshimiwa here is trying to justify that President Ruto breaking their promises is equal to
before
Mheshimiwa.
No, I've said Ruto have not broken the promises because he promised us Hustler Fund. Now there are some thieves outside there who have stolen the Hustler Fund. So are we blaming the one who promised and delivered, or we are blaming those who are thieves?
This is a very controversial
How do we know, in the absence of proper systems and processes, how do we know who stole the money? It's not the Kenyans. Kenyans are very good people. They are law abiding.
I'm not saying the Kenyans. I know there must be people who have stolen.
What I want to remind Mheshimiwa, let me remind Mheshimiwa. Mheshimiwa, I want to take you to 3 years ago during BBI. Was it 3 years or 4 years ago during BBI?
I was there.
You were there, isn't
Yes.
it? I saw you with a green suit.
Yes. Nowadays I'm in ESC colors. So ask me the geopolitics. I'm nowadays the global geopolitician. So this issue of siasa ya kijiji.
But it begins home.
Let me go back to the issue of BBI. So when we went to Bomas of Kenya,
yes,
and there was BBI,
yes,
the president should remember the reason why Kenyans went and stuck with him is because of the humiliation he went through during BBI.
By there you are also in blue.
Yes, you see now
let's go to
we are
geopolitics.
You know, we are in East Africa community. But let me finish, Chacha. During the BBI time, you remember,
I was there.
The president was really humiliated. The thing that made Kenya decide to vote for President Ruto is what he endured that day
so
at the
in this
BBI.
case, he could be giving Gachagua the sympathy votes.
Before we go to the sympathy vote, I remember when Murkomen spoke during that meeting, he almost cried. Kenyans almost actually cried with him. You understand? And that is a decision point that Kenyans decided they're going to vote for President Kibaki, for President Ruto. Whoever, by the time we were deciding to choose him, as people are deciding in their heart, he had not brought Rigathi. Actually, even the decision, the smoke that went to Deputy President resident by the time they were choosing Rigathi, people had thought it's going to be Kindiki. What is this thing that ensured that Rigathi came in? Those are the things that they should go back to. And also, those are the issues of their house. How come now they are dragging mud out for us as Kenyans?
Rigathi Gachagua did not bring Mount Kenya votes to William Ruto because already during BBI, Kenyans had already decided
by the time they were
William
just
Ruto.
By the time Rigathi was being chosen, he was being chosen as the right vehicle to ensure that
so the Mrima has been touched. Is it because perhaps Raila Odinga is on board with the broad-based government, and so perhaps President Ruto feels he no longer needs the mountain? You come from the mountain. What is the ground saying?
You know what is happening with Chacha? He's forgetting I'm an economist and putting me in between two very powerful politicians. You can see by the time they are talking, they are avoiding there. And I'm not here actually to speak categorically for the Murema people. But
you are a
I'm
voter.
talking for I'm a voter. But I'm talking about one thing that he has mentioned, but in a different way. The unity of this country remains the stability, the main stabilizer for the economy of this country. So one of the questions that I was asking Mheshimiwa before he came in, I think is the deputy, some of the contentious issues maybe that have not been answered, is the deputy president one of the main problems that is causing non-performance in KK government or in Kenya Kwanza government? That is one of the questions. So that by the time the legislators are doing what they have to do in whatever motion that is coming to them today or any other day, that they can be able to convince, because there has to be a reconciliation of ground and also what the legislators are saying. Whatever the ground is saying might not matter. However, we know very well that it mattered when it came to it in June 2024. And some of the, something actually, the ground influenced something we've never seen in this country, Finance Bill 2024. So the legislators here like reconciling the ground. It's them who are on the ground. Some of us are just helping with technical expertise. So the other thing that you've asked, is it that because Raila Odinga is already on board? Raila Odinga already has played his part. And in the in terms of pursuit of his AUC ambition, I think it's here with us and he should go through. The reason why whatever is going on is because there is no threat. Well, and when there is no competition, then it is easy to do away with people.
Quickly,
but I think in terms of there should be a demonstration, there should be a reconciliation between whatever is happening on the top and the ground. Otherwise, without those a reconciliation, I want to remind the legislators here, the people are already not happy because of the projects that are, or things that were supposed to be done that have not been done, especially because just recently, I remind you again that we reviewed the performance of the Kenya Kwanza government for the last 2 years.